That's interesting, chums. 24 hours from a brutal murder in the very heart of London. Well, suddenly Sadiq Khan is busy holding his summer reception. And not only that, he's now just been very delighted, shall we say, to insult one of our biggest and most respected countries, literally in the world. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me on a very much speeding train here in the very heart of the United Kingdom on a blistering day, which apparently is going to be reaching, get this, around about 33 degrees. But as I've said to you before, let's be blunt, for those of us that lived through, of course, the summer of 1976, what is this? It's nothing, is it? No, but do look after yourselves. I know people bore each other with this, but make sure you get a cup of tea, water, whatever, and, you know, even a bag of sweets, just keep it going, because you know what I mean? You just don't realise, do you, sometimes? You think, when did I last have a drink? And that's the problem. You start to feel a bit woozy, a bit headachy. Look after yourself, chums. That's my thing. Well, you know, somebody who couldn't look after themselves, literally in the very heart of London, was this poor man who was brutally murdered, all for his designer watch. Sorry, we haven't had a wave, have we? It's a little bit crass, I know, to say that in the middle of this, because I found that particular story incredibly upsetting, as many can imagine. And the thing is, you know, he's just going about his daily business, but this is the world, this is the London that now has been created by the lawless Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. As I said, recently he had his summer reception, and strangely enough, again, when you think about it, was happy to pose with a woman who was apparently, well, still an MP, apparently also looking to be deported back to Bangladesh. You couldn't make these people up, could you? They are completely shameless. Now, the other situation is this: that particular story literally made headlines around the world. Nothing, of course, from Sadiq Khan, just the usual platitudes of, you know, terrible, all that sort of stuff. But remember, this is a man who said, do not forget this, that it's sort of part and parcel of living in London. We should expect things like this. Shocking, to say the least. Now, the biggest insult I would suggest that's recently happened is simply this. Oh yes, because Sadiq now apparently is delighted, thrilled, over the moon by the forthcoming visit of the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. Following on, of course, from the recent state visit from President Macron. We can expect President Trump in around about September time. But sadly for President Trump, he's not been given the honour, which normally he would be afforded of, to address the Houses of Parliament, that is all the sitting MPs. You remember, many people gushed when President Zelensky came over and did the same thing. It was almost like the second coming. I was there filming it. I couldn't believe it. Now, whether you like President Trump or not, we should afford the same people the same honour. And the bottom line is, you know, the United States of America have been our friends and allies for many years. They've done many things for us, and rightly so. And we've appreciated all of their help, all of their kindness, friendship and warmth. And this has all been triggered and cemented, really, by our late and wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth, alongside many of her prime ministers during her long reign. So to not afford President Trump this, well, it's absolutely deplorable. But guess what? The Mayor of London is hoping that people will take to the streets to actually, yes, demonstrate about his forthcoming visit like they did previously. Now, how can you respect someone that literally falls short on every level? And wouldn't you think he'd have the courtesy, manners, and indeed simply looking towards what's happening on his own watch? Murders brutally in the very heart of London, literally during his watch. Many suggest he should resign in absolute shame from bringing London to its knees. But as ever, with Keir Starmer, his good ally, alongside him, who is yet to comment on whether he will reverse this and allow President Trump to address the people in the Houses of Parliament, well, what can you expect? But London remains a very dangerous place, and that's all thanks to this man, in part, and also the current British Prime Minister. I'd love to know what you think to this particular story as ever, and if you can, please like and share and comment respectfully. Neil Sean on a speeding London train.